Now, let me give you an example. Go with me to the book of 1 Samuel chapter 25. Okay? This is what happened to David in 1 Samuel chapter 25. As David's power grows, he comes into conflict with a rich landowner by the name of Nabal. Now, as this happens, David's band of rebels against Saul's rule has been encamped in Nabal's area for some time. David's men have treated Nabal's shepherds kindly, protecting them from harm, or at the very least not stealing anything from themselves. They were there. They were perfect gentlemen. They were helping them out. Look what it says here in 1 Samuel chapter 25, verses 15 through 16. It says, "But the men were very good unto us, and we were not hurt." This is Nabal's servants. Okay? Neither miss we anything, as long as we were conversant with them when they were in the fields. They were a wall unto us both night and day. And all the while we were with them keeping the sheep. They said, hey, they benefited us. They helped us. They kept people from attacking us, and they kept people from stealing from us. So David, he figures Nabal owes him something. And he sends a delegation to ask Nabal to donate some lambs for a feast for his army. Okay, he said, hey, your men have been very appreciative, and now we need some food. Can you help us out? David instructs his delegation. He said, now when you go to Nabal, be polite. Talk to him polite. Don't demand anything. Just ask for it. But once they went to Nabal, you know what he did? He wouldn't have nothing to do with it. Not only does he refuse to give David anything for the feast, he insults David publicly, denies knowing David, and he just questioned David's integrity, and he considers him a rebel. Look at verse 10 and 11. We're going backwards, but look at verse 10 and 11. It said, and Nabal answered David's servant and said, who is this David? And who is the son of Jesse? There be many servants nowadays that break away every man from his master. Shall I then take my bread and my water and my flesh that I have killed for my shearers and give it unto men whom I know not whence they be? Wow. Verse 11, I want to read that from another translation. Why should I take my bread and water and the meat I have slaughtered from my shearers and give it to the men coming from who knows where? I mean, they were protecting his people. But let me show you something. Nabal's own servants described their master as so ill-natured that no one could speak to him. And David immediately set out with his 400 men to slay Nabal and kill every male in his household. See, he was getting ready to make a decision out of what? Out of anger. So it was Nabal that created the problem. But now, not only was David getting ready to take it out on Nabal, he was going to take it out on his whole family. Amen? So suddenly David's anger is about to cause him to commit mass murder. While Nabal cares more about his pride than about his workers and his family. But thank God Nabal had a wise wife by the name of Abigail who steps in to make sure that this does not happen. She quickly prepares a feast for David and his men. Then she rides out to meet David with an apology, and she sets a new standard for courtesy in the Old Testament. Look at verse 26 through 28. This is so powerful. It said, now therefore, my Lord, she's talking to David because David is coming with his men to destroy Nabal's household. And his wife comes and she said, now therefore, my Lord, as the Lord liveth and as the soul liveth, see if the Lord have withholden thee from coming to shed blood and from avenging thyself with thy own hand. Now let thy enemies, and they seek evil to my Lord, be as Nabal. And now this blessing which thou handmaid have brought unto my Lord, let it even be given unto the young men that follow my Lord. I pray thee, forgive the trespasses of thy handmaiden, for the Lord will certainly make my Lord a sure house, because my Lord fighteth the battles of the Lord, and evil have not been found in thee all thy days. Let me read it from another translation. May you be blessed for your good judgment, for keeping me from bloodshed. Well, no, this is what David said to her in verse 33 through 35. Okay, once she came to him, she said, you know what? Here, my husband, he's a hothead. He don't care about nobody but himself. He's selfish. And he didn't think about what could happen to us, that I'm going to be killed, the men are going to be killed, everybody's going to be killed in this household. And here, I'm interceding for my husband. So I prepared all this food for your men, and please forgive us. She's apologizing. Okay? She's apologizing, said, please don't let this happen. See, but David was angry, and he was going to kill everybody because of this one man. But then she came and she spoke common sense to him. And this is what David said to her when he recognized that he was getting ready to make a decision out of anger. This is what he said in verse 33 through 35. Look what he says. He said, may you be blessed for your good judgment and for keeping me from bloodshed this day and from avenging myself with my own hands. He said, otherwise, as surely as the Lord, the God of Israel lives, who has kept me from harming you, if you had not come quickly to meet me, not one male belonging to Nabal would have been left alive by daybreak. So he's going to kill all the men in Nabal's household. He's going to kill all the providers. And then look what David said in verse 35. Then David accepted from her hands, and she brought him and said, go home in peace. I have heard your words and granted your requests. So don't make decisions when you're angry. Because when you make decisions out of your angry, or you'll say things that you later can't take back. Or you'll do something that later it may be very detrimental. So, at times when you get angry, you need to say, wait a minute. You need to leave me alone right now. Because I'm upset. I'm mad. Some of y'all, I'm mad is, y'all know what I mean. Uh-huh. Yeah, you fill it in. Amen. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Shame on some of y'all. Reading some of y'all's thoughts. Amen. But I'm mad. So tell somebody I'm mad. I'm upset. I'm angry. The Bible said it's all right to be angry, but what? Sin not. But you just need to say, let me calm down before I say something I don't want to say. Or before I do something I don't want to do. Come on. So don't make decisions when you are angry. I'm out of here. You're angry. Don't do that right then and there. Think about, don't say something. Well, you this and that. You understand? I had a brother one time I was counseling, and him and his wife were going through some problems. And he said to me, she said, he told me to get out and don't come back. He said, get out. Don't come back. I don't want you no more. Just get out. And she said, okay, I'm leaving. So she got her keys, and when she got to the door, he snatched her keys away from her and said, get out. Get out, get out, get out, get out, get out. And she said, well, how am I going to get out if you don't give me my keys? He said, just get out. And so when I went to the counseling, I said, he was angry. And what he was saying is he didn't believe that you would just say, okay, I'm out of here. So what he did was, instead of saying, I didn't mean that, he took your keys away because he knew you couldn't leave if you didn't have your keys. And he said, no, I didn't. I looked at him and said, now tell her. He said, you know how men, sometimes we got our pride and we didn't know how to just say, no, don't leave me. I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. He took the keys so she couldn't leave. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to be careful that when you're angry, you have to just calm down. Tell that person, just calm down. Look, you finna make me say something I don't want to say. You finna make me do something I don't want to do. Come on. Also, don't make decisions when you are disheartened. Don't make decisions when you're disheartened. That is similar to being depressed or being emotionally down or physically down. See, when you are disheartened or discouraged, because you cannot rationally think when you're disheartened or when you're discouraged, people can take advantage of you and press you into decisions that you would not ordinarily make. So calculate the factors involved. Are you physically ready to make a decision? Are you emotionally ready to make a decision? I want y'all to think about this, because this is not just making spiritual decisions, but many people make decisions about their careers, their education, their jobs, their businesses, when they're in no shape to make these decisions. You're not thinking. All right? I tell somebody this, okay? Unless the Lord tell you to do this. Okay, a job in New York. They're going to pay you $75,000. Okay? And in Jacksonville, you're making $60,000. And you say to yourself, man, that's going to be a $15,000 what? Raise. Oh, no, come on, tell it that in New York. Because in Jacksonville, you only pay what? A state, federal tax. That's right. In New York, you're going to pay federal tax, state tax, county tax, and they probably got a neighborhood tax. But they got all types of taxes. And about time they tax you with everything, now you're bringing home $500 less than what you was when you was in Jacksonville. Cost of living. But you see what I'm saying? You got to understand when you make decisions, you got to think about all of that. And the only thing you're thinking is $15,000 more. And you're not thinking about it. Amen? Jesus said once again, count the cost. No man builds a tower unless he first count the cost of building the tower. He was talking about discipleship here. He said, if any man comes after me and doesn't count the cost, then he is like a man who builds a tower and he doesn't count the cost of building the tower, and he gets the tower half built. Then he runs out of money and people come by and they laugh at him because they see the tower half built and he couldn't build the rest because he didn't count the cost. So he said, be sure you can finish what you start before you make a decision. So calculate the factors that are involved. Okay, think about it. A lot of people, like I said, hey, man, what if you're in an abusive, you dating somebody that is abusive, verbally or physically, and you love spending time with them when they're not mean, or they're not stalking you, or they don't want you to go nowhere, or they don't want you to have no friends and everything. And then you figure, well, you know what? Maybe if I marry them, maybe they'll change. Oh, no. They not going to change. You think they had a grip on you now. Amen. They didn't put some vice grips on you now. But, oh, he loves me. Come on. Amen. You're going to live in what? Misery. or somebody stalking you. You know, you told them this is it. They said it's not it. And they stalking you. Come on. Amen. Do you know if you file, what is it called? The thing, what is it called? See, y'all got it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So y'all had to do that. You'd had to do that. All right. If you file a restraining order on someone and they can't come in a certain distance of you or be in contact with you, okay, and then you file that, and then you're associating with them, guess what happens? Huh? It's null and void, and you in trouble. Because you understand, you had the city to say that I fear for my what? My life. And when you said that, so now you can be reprimanded for that. Are y'all understand what I'm saying? So, you know, you need to count the factors, or you need to think about the factors. Number